All right, so what you're looking at here, this is the first major divide that we're going to have during the Cold War era. This is known as the Iron Curtain. I just touched on it, and what this is think of it as an imaginary line. Okay, you can see that it's illustrated here with the green lines you can see right here that kind of runs all the way down and through here. So what this does is this basically separates the east part of the continent and the western part of the continent. The east is the communist side. The west is the capitalist side. So these are the American supporters. This is the American systems over here, and over here will be those who are following the communist system. Now, again, not all of these countries are in favor of communism. However, they were taken over because they're smaller, weaker countries in the Soviet Union, and because they were so devastated from World War II, they really couldn't put up a fight to stop the Soviet Union from coming in and kind of taking over. These countries will remain their own countries: Romania, Poland, Lithuania, etc. So these are going to become basically what we call like satellite governments or satellite countries, and I'll get a little bit more into that later on with the Eastern Bloc. But all of these countries are going to fall into the communist sector, and all these countries over here are going to fall into the capitalism sector, following the United States, Great Britain, etc. The only kind of unique thing about this is if you follow this line, you'll notice that it follows along countries' borders, except in one country, Germany. This section of Germany, including the capital city of Berlin, fall behind the Iron Curtain. So literally, Germany gets split in half. It's one country that gets split in half of its communism, half of its capitalism, which is kind of a weird concept if you think about literally, kind of talking about it with the United States. That'd basically be, everything east of the Mississippi River would be a communist country, and everything to the west of the Mississippi would be a capitalist system where they're able to remain free and do the things and live life the way we do now. But we on the east side of the Mississippi would now fall under complete control of the federal government. In this case, obviously, the Soviet Union. So the Iron Curtain is very similar to another term we'll be talking about later on called the Berlin Wall that separates the East and the West. But it's important to note that this is not an actual wall. This is just a borderline. It's an imaginary divider. You can walk across it. I mean, if you do, you'll probably get shot. But it's not an actual physical structure that's stopping you from going from one side to the other, which is a little bit different than the Berlin Wall, which we'll talk about a little while later.